Hey YouTube, it's me, Gigi Jones, and I'm coming at you today with a different type of video. Today, it is April the 22nd, 2015, and this will be my first secret pregnancy vlog. And the reason why it's a secret pregnancy is because I'm only 5 weeks, and according to my doctors yesterday I was 5 weeks and 3 days. So today I'm 5 weeks and 4 days. So if you're watching this video right now, that means that I have already gotten past the 3-month mark, and now you get to see my experience from now till 3 months when I announce that I'm pregnant. Yay. All right, so I'm just so excited. Okay, so 5 weeks pregnant. I guess I should go back to when I first suspected that I could be pregnant. First of all, me and my husband were not directly trying. We found out later when we talked that we were actually kind of secretly trying together without letting each other know that we were trying. Because like in our conversations, when we talk about, getting pregnant, we will always say, oh, we're not ready just yet. We want to get A, B, C, and D together first. But we always express that, we did want to have a child, but we just felt like we weren't in the place to have a child yet. So what we didn't tell each other is that around that time of the month where I could conceive, during around ovulation time, because I was tracking it. I was tracking it so that we could kind of have an idea of like kind of when not to have sex. So yeah, as I was saying, we were using the ovulation tracker initially to try to, prevent pregnancy. But what we didn't tell each other is that we both secretly were kind of using it to gauge the possibility of when we could get pregnant. But yeah, we did that, and now we're pregnant. Yay. After that ovulation week, I remember it was about 5 to 6 days past my ovulation. So I have about a 27 to 28 day cycle. About 5 to 6 days past my ovulation, I noticed like twitching, like right here. Yeah, like no, that's too high. Like right here. And it was twitching that I could actually see. It was like the kind of twitching that you have in your eye when your like eye is jumping and twitching. But I noticed it, and I was like, that's really different. I've never experienced that before. That was the first thing that made me wonder. Let me see. The next thing I noticed, closer to the time of my period, or my expected period, I noticed that my nipples were a little sore. Like I could squeeze it, and it was like slightly sore, and that's something that I never experienced during PMS. I do always experience sore breasts. And it can even be sore like in the nipple area, but my nipples are never sore like as far as squeezing them. But they weren't like really sore to the point where it's like, oh shoot, don't touch them, they hurt that bad. I just noticed a little bit of soreness. I also took note of like different like popping and pulling sensations going on in my uterus area. Some like unique pains behind my belly button, and like a pulling type pain behind my belly button. I also took notice of like a different type of cramp. Like I normally have premenstrual cramps like right before I come my period. So I couldn't really use that as a way to gauge anything, because I cramp for the most part around my period cycle. But I did notice that these cramps felt a little different. They didn't quite feel like my normal premenstrual cramps. I took note of that. Even then, I still didn't want to read into it, because I was like, I don't know. I may or may not be pregnant, but this is different. I just didn't want to get like all into it like I did last month, or the cycle before. But at the same time, even though I wasn't trying to read into everything, I still kind of had that like, I guess maybe it's a gut feeling. I don't know if anyone else has ever experienced that like intuition where you kind of know that you're pregnant even though you don't know or you're not sure. But I kind of sensed it to a certain extent. But even that sensation or the intuition I felt, I still dismissed it as me just trying to like read into it or read into, my body or my thoughts, because I knew that I wanted to be pregnant. Out of like just sheer curiosity and just I couldn't hold it any longer. I bought a pregnancy test, and I did. This time I waited longer. Like the last cycle, I was just like, I was way too into it, reading into every little symptom. So I took a test probably like 3 days before my expected period, and of course it was negative because I wasn't pregnant. But this time I waited until the actual last day that I could possibly come on my period, because like I think I said earlier, I have a 27 to 28 day cycle. So I took it on the last day that I could have possibly came on my period. And I remember sitting on the toilet and looking down, and I don't know, I just felt, I couldn't see the line from where I was sitting on the toilet, but I just felt like I needed to get closer because I felt like I could see something. And when I got closer, I saw the faintest of lines. And I had already read the previous month that a line is a line. If you see a line, even if it's like barely there, then 9 times out of 10, well, maybe not 9 times out of 10, I'm just saying that, but more than likely you're pregnant, even with the faintest of lines. So I remember seeing that line and I was like, oh my God, like, are you kidding me? Like, is this real? I just kept saying over and over, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, it was just so surreal and so exciting. And I just flipped out, not in a bad way, like in an exciting way, because I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe that I was actually seeing a line. So no one was home at the time. My husband wasn't home, so I couldn't tell him. So I called my sister, because I just couldn't hold it in. I had to tell somebody. So I told her, and he was like, oh, you're screaming or whatever. And then my husband came home when I told him, and he still wasn't sure because the line was so light. So he kind of like held back a little bit because he wanted to make sure that I really was pregnant before he got like really all into it. So I took that test. When was that? That was last week. So it was on April 14th, I believe. April 14th, I took that first test. And then I bought another test because, you know, I wanted to make sure that, you know, I would get another line. So I didn't take the test again the next day, April 15th. I took the test again on April 16th, which was a Thursday. Yeah, I took the test again on April 16th, which was a Thursday. And the line was visibly darker. It was still like faint. Like, it wasn't as dark as the control line, but it was dark enough where I could see it from sitting on the toilet. So, and I was also able to take a picture of that test. The first test I wasn't able to take a picture of it. It wasn't dark enough. But the second test I was able to take, and I showed my husband that test, and he was like, okay, it looks like you're pregnant. I showed my mom as well, and she's like, yep, looks like a positive to me. So I was like excited and just so happy. And then I think the day after I took that first test, that's when I started experiencing like pregnancy symptoms. That's when the fatigue started kicking in. I started getting short-winded with talking, and I'm a music teacher, so I'm talking all day and singing most of the day. So by the end of the day, I'm wore out, can barely breathe sometimes. It's not, okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit about the barely breathe part, but my breathing is slightly a little labored. So those are the first few things I noticed was fatigue and shortness of breath. And of course, like, you know, the cramping, like in my uterus and hips and back, and not, you know, continuous cramping, but off and on cramping. And so I took that second test on Thursday, April the 16th. And then at the like when I was going throughout the day, I noticed that like it looked like my fingers were a little blue and my lips were a little blue, and I was like really cold. So I kind of looked it up to see what could possibly be going on. And I forgot what I read, but I did remember seeing that if it was accompanied by like shortness of breath or any chest issues, that you should call a doctor. So by the end of the day, this happened while I was at school. By the end of the day, I felt pressure in my chest, and I was already experiencing, you know, shortness of breath from being pregnant. And then I began to experience like pressure in my chest. So I called my doctor to see if I needed to come in sooner, because I was going to come in. We were planning on going to the doctor the following Tuesday, this past Tuesday, yesterday, April 21st. We were going to go that day to confirm the pregnancy. But I called my doctor on April 16th and told them what I was experiencing. And I asked them, should I come in on that day? And they told me that I needed to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital. Make a long story short, went to the hospital. Everything ended up being fine. They tested everything, got blood work. And that is when they confirmed my pregnancy and told me that I was 4 weeks. My HCG level was at 58, so they said that was about 4 weeks. And so we got the confirmation that we wanted, and I called my husband and told him. He was like, yay. He was so excited that, you know, we got pregnant, because that's basically what we really wanted, even though we were scared to take that step because of you know, where we are financially. And he was just so excited. I was so excited, and we were just so excited. What else? So far this week, I've just been experiencing, you know, more fatigue. I feel like yesterday and today I haven't had as much shortness of breath, so that's good. Oh, another thing that has changed, and that started like the day after I took that first test, was increased hunger. Like when I get hungry now, I feel like I have eaten all day. Now I don't necessarily eat more than you know, what I normally do. I just feel a lot hungrier than what I normally would feel. So that's another thing that has changed. I have started taking my prenatal vitamins already, so to make sure that baby is happy and healthy. We call our baby Jujubee, by the way. I think that's so cute. So for now, we do have names. We already have names picked out for, you know, if it's a boy or if it's a girl. I won't reveal that just yet, but but right now we call him or her Jujubee. So yeah, I'm really excited about motherhood. I'm really hoping and praying that, you know, we just have a healthy baby. Obviously at this point, if you're watching this video, then we made it past the first trimester. Now we're going into the second trimester, and I really hope everything, you know, is smooth sailing. I pray to God. So this ends this first pregnancy vlog for April 22nd. I'll be coming back with more updates and secret pregnancy vlogs up until the 3rd month, because I'm excited and I want to document my journey. Oh, before I go, I want to do like a little belly pulse. You can't really see, of course you can't see anything right now because I'm only 5 weeks, but I want to, you know, track it. So let's see, let me get on my knees. Let me not show too much, you know, can't show the goods. All right. Now I have noticed that it sticks out maybe like a little more than normal, but not really. Most of the time when it's sticking out more than, like a lot more than normal, it's because of bloating. But yeah, this is it so far at 5 weeks. Not that much. I mean, you can't see it really, but I can see it a little difference. All right. So that is it. That's all, folks. Bye.